right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
How we doing?
We got through Hump Day,
We did.
Wednesday night. This fan's view and all of you.
Does it seem like it, or is it just me that the weeks are going flying by?
I say that all the time to Sue, either in the morning or at night. I mean, here it is. What is it, April 9th already?
Right.
I mean, we just cruised through January, February, March.
Yep.
I mean, now we're in, the days are getting longer. I had to shut the shades behind me because the sun was bearing down, and the days are getting longer.
Yep.
I guess it's good and bad because the warm weather is going to be coming our way. Not this week anyway.
No.
Supposed to be still chilly and rainy for the next few days. But I think I could do as good a job as the weather people. But
you just open up those curtains and you'll give a better report.
We won't get started there, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately, we don't make the millions of dollars on top of it.
No. So, couple of things before I turn it over to you to get us all caught up on fantasy. Cheers to Sue. It's her birthday tomorrow.
Yep. Happy birthday, Sue.
Cheers. The big
26th.
birthday. The big birthday tomorrow. Women don't like to tell their age, but Jordan Malata's number, as she said. So happy birthday to her. She gets to pick me up because I got to drop my truck off for an oil change. So that's how we're celebrating.
Happy birthday.
Well, maybe we'll go to Freddy's for a burger or God knows what. But yeah, Saturday night we'll celebrate at Chad's Ford Tavern. So she won't get shortchanged.
Of course not. There you go.
So, but anyway, hey, another interesting, not a birthday, but we lost a Shiro. Ray Shiro, the son of Fred Shiro, passed away.
Yeah,
65 years old. Pretty good hockey mind. I know he was there in Pittsburgh as their general manager. Not quite sure what he was doing after that, but yeah, Fred Shiro's son died. So rest in peace. The hell was his name?
Ray Shiro.
Yeah, Ray. Yeah, Ray. What the hell am I thinking? Caught up in all these, goalies that have passed away over the past week, 10 days in the Flyers family. And
yeah, it's been a rough week for a couple of weeks.
It has. My mom's sister passed away. I mean, it's just been, life's too short. So enjoy every day. Okay.
Absolutely.
Enjoy every day.
I try to.
Peace.
That's all you can do.
Yep. So, what do we got? We've got March Madness. The brackets are over.
The brackets are over. Yep. We got it was a tiebreaker. We had to go down to a tiebreaker, and Kyle O'Brien won. Jen was in second, and Sue was in third there. Phil was in fourth. Chris Bramble was fifth. Tyler was sixth. We got there William Zolnick.
A lot of O'Brien action there at the top.
Yeah, Christopher Newman. Yep, Henry Zadell, myself, Lauren and Anthony there at 11. It was a good time, and Phil's back on there for the last one as well. He had two brackets and he made it to the top 20 on both of his brackets. So yeah, it was a fun time and a little bit of a crazy ending. Duke going down, and they collapsed. They couldn't even that last 8 minutes. They couldn't even get inbounds passes in. It was.
Were they not some good games throughout this bracket?
Yeah, no, it was entertaining for sure.
Yeah,
and it showed the it was Florida pulled the upset over over Duke, or no, I'm sorry, Houston. Yeah, Houston
Yep.
beat Duke. And shut them down. And that number 21 and 4 were pretty. They looked pretty good. They were studly there. Coming down the end, and then it was funny because it turned around and bit them in the championship game because it was just the opposite.
Yeah.
That they end up were the ones that collapsed. And let Florida come back, and Florida had a hell of a run themselves because they were in a lot of tough games. They were down in a lot of games and came back. So yeah, it was definitely a fun adventure.
One of their top players is a local kid
For Florida.
Yeah. Forget his name, but he's a local kid.
Okay.
Went to school out here in Philly basketball lives on.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got to Florida, but I guess Florida offered him a nice little package, and he's probably going to end up in the pros one day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good for him.
I wish I could remember his name, but the old brain's not what it used to be. Just not what it used to be. So, but yeah. So, look at that. Tony Longmire's watching.
There you go. How we doing, Tony?
Longmire. Baseball is back, and we got some baseball guys checking in. So, welcome, Tony. Welcome, Sue.
Yep.
So
while we got Tony on, we'll have to ask him how he thought about that dropped fly ball last night.
Yeah, I don't know if he saw the game or not, but before we dig into all the ifs and if nots of the Phillies season so far, why don't you finish up on all our fantasy, because we had a couple more coming to the end.
Yeah, basketball's coming to the end. We got Sunday's the last day, so we'll be announcing a championship winner. We got Arthur's going to probably end up winning it for the viewers there. You got myself, Jen, and Tyler, and Lauren, Christopher Jackson, another customer here at the store up there, and Kyle and Maureen. Scotty
We're gonna
Black.
have to start handicapping these O'Briens.
Yeah, we might have to.
Might have to start handicapping them.
Yeah, we got a new O'Brien entry into the baseball one this
oh
week.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom ended up joining in.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, she's trying to make it the competition with seeing everybody else's name up on the boards here. She's like, she keeps texting me all day, every day, like, can't wait to see my name on the board. Hopefully I'm on the leaderboard. So we'll see. We'll see if she made it, if she made the cut. But we'll see.
Mama O'Brien.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. And then we got our hockey one going. Cheryl is still running away with it. She's kicking butt there.
Well, she sure is. Well, wait.
Well, no, it was 31. I have it wrong. She's supposed to be 34.75.
Oh, I was getting ready to say she's not quite running away with it, but okay.
Yeah. Adam's making a late push here, down the stretch here, because she's 34.75. It was a typo there on my end, and then 34.57 or 59 there for Adam. So, getting a little close, but it's got a week plus on that one, so it's going there, and then we got the first week of baseball. So we got fantasy baseball here coming up, and we got a few famous or popular names up here. We got myself there. Jen's back in the lead, picking the funny names again. Lauren's up there in third. James McAller is there. Charles Wharton, Jason, big Jason there. He's a tough one. He was in the top 5 last year, finishing out there. And we got yourself there, and Bill Mattis, and there she is,
Pat O'Brien.
Pat O'Brien.
Hey, give it up.
Yep.
Give it up.
Yep.
She hit the leaderboard. Get ready for that green jacket.
That's right. Yep. We got and then Chris Lambert's there.
Is she a listener? Does she join the
Oh
show?
yeah, she's listening right now.
Yeah?
Oh,
All right.
Yep, she's listening. So
Congrats.
I'll leave that up there for an extra second so she can get her camera out and figure out how to take a picture of it.
No wonder nobody likes us. We don't care.
Exactly.
We don't care.
Yeah, but it's going good. We got 71 people in the
Very
fantasy
nice.
baseball. So yeah, it's
very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so we got a good
nice.
battle going there. So we'll see how things all shake out. It's only week one.
It's a long season.
Well, right. It's only week one, so it's we've had a lot going on, and throughout the season you get a lot of injuries and that kind of stuff. So it changes a lot.
Yep.
And again, it amazes me. We got 71 lineups, and not one of them are the same. We have a couple of ties mixed in there, but not because of the same lineups. But
let me ask you this: is there one player that everybody took?
There wasn't a complete unanimous one, but Aaron Judge was as close.
I was going to say I would have thought he'd have been unanimous.
Yeah, he was pretty close. And then I mean there's a few people that strayed away from him. And hopefully that that may hurt them in the long run, but I guess they don't like Yankees players. So otherwise, because he's having a monster start of the year.
Yeah, he is.
And
yeah, he is.
So yeah, and then
with or without a torpedo bat.
Exactly. Well, good hitters don't need torpedo bats,
right?
That's the way it comes out.
Yep, for sure.
So yeah.
All right, so we all wrapped up on our fantasies. We got it all going.
Oh yeah, we got it all going and winding down, and so yeah, keep an eye out. Arthur's already watching it, countdown for his time with his newborn son. So he's getting excited to hopefully win his championship there for basketball. So
who's Arthur?
Arthur, he was a customer here at the store.
Okay.
He's come in here a few times, but he hasn't been in here lately because he just had a newborn.
Okay.
Newborn son. And,
I guess I should work more. Maybe I would know these people, huh?
Well, he hasn't been in here for a little while. He was in here, I think. He's been playing with us for probably 3-4 years now. So I think probably right around the time when you had your accident, when he was in, and he pops in every once in a while. But
does Arthur have a last name?
Quay, Quaye.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Florida, Thomas, you get all you. Hey.
All right.
Well, yeah. So yeah, it's going well.
Good.
He's excited and
good.
He's got the newborn going, so he's
got
busy.
His hands full. He's got his hands full.
Exactly.
Changing diapers.
Yep.
Well, we won't be able to have our little sit down chat next week.
No.
Because we're gonna be live at Buffalo Wild Wings with our Wall of Fame guest Ed Wade. So
yes,
looking forward to chatting it up with him about that and how he found out about getting chosen and how he feels about going on with J-Roll.
Exactly.
That's got to be pretty cool, pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm sure a lot of the 08 guys will be in town.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. They'll all probably be in there and for sure.
Always
Hamilton's in town now working with the team. So,
yep. He hasn't done it well. Schmidt just did the first Sunday. But I guess they're going to alternate. Is that going to be the situation?
Is that? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the situation was working. I haven't still heard the exact way it was. I thought it was still always going to be Sundays with Schmidt, but I don't know if if Hamels is doing maybe
Hamels is going to do a Saturday or something.
Right.
Gotcha. All right.
So
April 20th is his first. Emily's already stalked that out, so she's got that figured out. April 20th. So,
well, there you go. She's there. Yep.
what day is that? Is that a Sunday?
Yeah, it's Easter.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
What are we doing?
Better late than never.
But it's all right. It's all right. You've paid your dues. It's all right.
Thank you.
Some people make it and other people cancel on us.
Bay was supposed to be on.
But yeah, just one last thing to finish up on the fantasy is just since Emily's there, just everybody make sure that they respond to some of the messages to get your players updated so you don't lose any points and that kind of stuff, because that's what fantasy sports is about. You need to get your points. So
Got to get your points.
you don't want guys sitting on the bench not playing and hurting yourself. So
Cool.
but yeah,
Very cool. Very
pretty
cool.
much everybody's cooperative with that. So
Good. All right. Real quick, we got our general manager on the show again tonight, and we can talk about the first weekend in Baseball Town. How did that go? Looked like some decent crowds.
It was good. It got really cold. Opening night was good. It was about 65 degrees. Perfect. We probably had 7,000 plus, which was great. Last year we had a little bit more, but it was like I looked back and it was 75 degrees. So it was,
a little later.
Yeah, it was a little later. It was perfect.
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday were fine attendance wise. It was just very bitterly cold. Like I wouldn't be upset if someone didn't show up because it was cold, but it was good. The team store unveiling went really, really well on Friday. The thing is huge. I mean, it goes from what the old clubhouses were, where the players used to come out, all the way to where the old store is. It's about 3 times the size. It's doing fantastic. So that was good. We have a new Cigar City Brewing beer on the third base side, which has Highlight from Tampa. The opening night Hawaiian shirt was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was all great stuff. And then we got, obviously, this coming week, next week, we have our first fireworks show on the Friday, and then Easter Sunday. And I think the homestand after that, or the one sometime in May, we're doing our first drone show, which Lauren and I have seen in Pittsburgh, and it's really neat how they can make the drones light up as players or famous, plays, symbols and stuff like that. So it's going well. It's a little hectic right now at the beginning of the season, just to kind of get your feet wet and,
Of course.
and not to, miss anything. But so far so good.
So when they do those shows, it's an actual, each one of those lights are a different drone.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we went to Pittsburgh, and obviously that's probably a lot bigger, I imagine, but I know for us, I'm making this up. I don't remember the number offhand, but it's at least 100, if not 200 drones. So what happens is, it would light up, and they might start it up with the R Phil's logo. Then it might be like a game sponsor, the sponsor logo.
Right.
But then it might, when we were in Pittsburgh, and I don't know what it's going to look like for us totally. They've kind of are keeping it secret right now. But, it was like a picture of Steve Blass jumping up when they won the World Series, and it's just an iconic photo. And then there's a picture of the logo, and there's a picture of the mascot, and it all.
They did one in Philly right before the Eagles went to the Super Bowl over the art museum.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, they did. Yes.
Yeah, so it's just like that, except it's themed to whatever the team is that's hosting it. But yeah, each one of those lights is an individual drone, and I'm guessing it's all computerized, so they have it programmed ahead of time.
Sure.
And so the drones know, which movements to make. But there's always like one like rogue drone that like just squirrels off and goes the wrong way. So I always enjoy waiting to see which one that is, especially when we're in Pittsburgh and you just have this one. It's one light that's just like 20 feet away from everybody else.
It's like a bad kid growing up, right? There's got to be one.
It's fascinating.
It's neat. I think once we get by next Saturday is the first fireworks show. Once we get past that, the main promotion you'll see is that drone show. We did it a little early to try to, attract a nice crowd.
But they're expensive for you guys.
They're not.
Right?
They're not cheap. They're not cheap. The fireworks. You do a bunch of fireworks, and you kind of get a little bit of a price.
I mean, are you able to tell us how many drone shows there'll be?
This year, there's only one. So let's hope everyone's there, and hopefully it goes well, so we can do it again next year.
And what night is that?
I want to say May
I'll look it up.
I'm making this up. It might be May 12th.
No
May
worries.
19th.
I always put you on the spot. I apologize. But you
It's
did
in May.
forget one thing for April 18th, which is a Fiesta Friday.
Yep.
And
Yep, first one of the year.
Yep, we'll be in the plaza, Carl's Cards and Collectibles.
Yeah, come on, you seem to know. Tell me.
Man,
No,
it's like taking the dog for a walk. Sometimes he wants to go, sometimes he doesn't.
It'll be
Jeez.
It'll be good. You know, I'm hoping that it's warmer than this week. At least this cold week is here now, and hopefully it's over with by the time we're back next week.
Good.
But,
I mean, it's going to be like a high of 46 on Saturday, so at least that's this Saturday, not last Saturday.
yeah. And then when we play the team from Binghamton, who's the Mets, who's that sort of rival. So I think they I don't know if it's this one or another time. They usually take a bus trip down because it's not far. You know, they have a nice little rivalry. The fans from the Binghamton area, so it should be nice. And then Easter on Sunday, it'll be interesting to see. I haven't been here for an Easter game in my history, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it goes well. It's nice to have a 1:00 game, I'll tell you that. You can be out of there by 4:30 and have dinner with your family or whatever you want to do. So that'll be nice.
So you've been there, what, 11, 12 years? So, and this is the first time you've had a Sunday game?
Yeah, this is my 16th year.
Right.
And this is the first time we've had a Sunday game
on Easter.
Right.
Wow.
I think Easter will be okay. And the first fireworks show is Saturday. Fridays, I'm hoping people just want to come out on Friday. But as I remember, because I'm not a hugely religious person, Friday's Good Friday. So that's not ideal. But Sunday.
That's an afternoon event.
Yeah, you don't really do anything Friday night. I mean, your burger and hot dog.
Good. I got my peeps. I got busloads of people coming out for
busloads.
Carl's Cards. Yeah.
Perfect.
Got it.
But it should be good. I mean, it should be nice. It'll be the first Friday of the year. That's when you usually around that Friday you start having those pregame bands and all that sort of stuff. We had a nice one up opening night with the Uptown Band, but Saturday and Sunday just with the weather it was a little bit slower. But I think this coming week it'll be good. And then once we get past that next homestand, that's when everything starts. Fireworks every Friday, Thursday, Friday night, and drone shows and giveaways and all that stuff starts right after that.
Nice, very good.
So the Easter you just never played it. Was that just a day off then?
Well,
Sundays are a game. Usually.
Yeah, it was. They were either on the road or it was a day off. I don't remember. We've never played. So in the time that I've been there in 16 years, we only played 2 4th of July games.
Oh, okay.
We
so
usually,
holidays they try to.
Yeah. So some teams play the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Some might play the 4th, 5th, 6th, and then I think right after that's the All-Star break. We've been lucky enough to get the 1st, 2nd, 3rd for 14 of those 16 years.
Okay.
Again, minor league baseball is sort of dictated by Major League Baseball now with the schedule. So Major League Baseball makes that schedule, and I think they switch it up to try to be fair to everyone. So this year we're one of the teams that are home for Easter. So I mean, it'll be fun for whoever's there. I mean, you can come out early and still have dinner and come see the Easter Bunny on Sunday and have a good time.
I'll be there.
There you
go. Well, Matthew Peterson, hello everyone. I need to get back to Reading. Well, there's a Reading hit. George David can confirm band on opening night was great. There's another hit.
Yeah, that Uptown Band, and the Uptown Band usually does it the opening night, and they're fantastic. And then I want to say July 3rd is a band normally called Bunch of Funk. So those are 2 of our biggest bands of the year. They're like big wedding bands, and they do us a solid by doing the opening night in July 3rd, and they're fantastic.
Very nice.
I saw our boy out there dancing.
Yeah,
you sure did. You sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case you need a replacement.
Oh, that would be something. No, he's pumped. He's jacked. He's back. He's excited to be back. He always tells us that we treat him better than the other teams in town. So I'm always great to hear that. And
that was that night. He
says the same thing to them when he goes over there.
Right.
He knows how to work it.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
All right.
Yeah.
And Lauren, you're working in the team store, I gather, and
I am. Yep. I was there Friday and Saturday night. So Friday was very, very busy and very, very crowded with people just interested in seeing the new store. But it was good. There's a lot of space. People can there's like a line now that like corrals people, so it's not sort of just like a free for all up at the counter. So that's nice. And it's surprising when you remember how small the store used to be.
Sure.
And I know they did purchase some new inventory for the store, but they just had so much that was hidden that you couldn't really see as well. That, I mean,
Sure.
It took nothing basically for them to stock the new store.
No.
So it's just really nice. Everything has a spot now. It doesn't feel crammed.
Good.
So I think it's an even better sort of shopping experience for fans because they're able to see everything. And there really is something in there for everybody. So even if you aren't a Phillies fan, but maybe you're a Fightins fan or a minor league baseball fan, they just have stuff for everybody. If you love the Fanatic, he's got his own section. If you love the mascots in Reading, they have theirs. So it's cool. It's really nice.
Let's talk a little bit about the cost of the average ticket for, general admission, let's say.
Mhm.
What is that, like $5-6?
I think it might be up a little bit now just with the cost of things, but maybe like $8 to $10. But I think $8. But if you look at our numbers from year to year, last year I think we were like the 5th or 6th or 7th or whatever most affordable team in the country, and that's out of 120 teams. Most of those other teams are single A teams or short season teams or whatever they are. So to consistently be one of the most affordable teams,
Nice.
at least the most affordable team in AA baseball, I mean, that's something we're very cognizant of. We don't charge for parking.
Right.
The program's free. A lot of times there's different tickets from sponsors or different town nights. So the average fan's coming out for a very little amount of money, so they don't mind spending a couple bucks when they get there. I think we always have that at the front of our brain to make sure that we don't lose that affordability and the just the customer service that we have.
Sure, of course.
One other thing about the club or the new store there, I knew that the pictures look really great. I didn't get to see how the one part was.
Yeah,
you were talking about they took over the clubhouse. Were they able to like incorporate anything with the old clubhouse that you can kind of tell, like with the
other than the lockers for Ryan Howard, which and Darren
right
Ruff,
that was there before,
which were in there. We try to make it a little bit more so that you showcase them so they're not right next to each other.
Okay.
Other than that, than the press release, there's not. But again, it's not like just because we've opened it up doesn't mean that stuff can't be explained on like a storyboard or something. It was in the press release.
Mm-hmm.
When people are in there, people are excited. They're like, well, what was this before? And we're like, it's the clubhouse, the same clubhouse that Mike Schmidt and Ryan Howard were in. I think at some point we'll try to encapsulate that with maybe like a little storyboard to explain to people, because I don't think the average person knows. Literally, when you walk in the store from the plaza side, which you weren't able to open before, you are walking through a wall that was literally goes right into where the lockers were. So everything on the left and right hand side are the lockers as of 2 years. So people always say, well, what did you have there last year? It was kind of the event center team before they moved up to have offices in the event center kind of used it. And it was kind of storage. So to see what they've done in a very short amount of time of a couple months is really, But after being there for a day or two,
it looks like
it's always been there. And that's the nice part about that. And the dugout suite we added a couple years ago, it just feels like it's always been. It's never a renovation project where you're just plopping something down.
Right.
It's done very deliberate, so it feels like it's always been there. And now you also feel like it's a legitimate, not that we weren't before, but you feel like a legitimate team. Like if you build a new stadium today, that's how big the store would be in the first place.
Right.
So it's nice.
And even though the public side of the store might not have too much of the clubhouse left, there's some doors that lead you to storage behind that.
Yeah.
And the storage behind that very much still looks like a clubhouse. So there's still the shower drains in the floor.
Oh, okay.
Some of the shelving for the storage, for the extra stuff is like storage that was back there and shelving that was back there. So it still very much is the clubhouse behind the scenes. But on the public side, no, it looks really nice. But they have added a couple of lockers for the mascots, where like the stuffed animals are. That's an old locker that they divvied up. So like each mascot has its own like locker, so they can put like the stuffed animals in there. So they're much more organized now. I would say that's the biggest thing, is just like organization, and there's just not like buckets of just random stuff everywhere.
Yeah, everything has its place. Everything's labeled. The coolest thing from a non-fan that you guys wouldn't see is we have a shipping and receiving department. So the amount of merchandise when Major League Baseball holds a sale, or it's 10% off for the first day of spring, whatever it is, we have more orders than any other AA team in the country. And poor Ryan and his interns were trying to schlep it around and figure out inventory, and stuff was all over the place. Now everything is coded and we know right where it is, and it still takes them a bit, but they have a whole shipping department that they can work through all day and send out. I mean, the mailman comes twice a day to the stadium to pick up packages. So it's great for business, and it's just great for the fans to have more options.
So you got a Ronnie too?
What's that?
You got a Ronnie too?
Mm-hmm.
We got a Ronnie. We have a couple different Ronnies. They do shift. One's in the morning and one's at night.
There you go.
We get the same Ronnie, morning, noon, and night.
Right. Yeah.
Our guy's in a great mood. He's very much like Ronnie. The afternoon person, not as much, but the morning person is jacked up to give us the mail and talk about baseball. And
He must like it.
yeah, the people that
The
are like
afternoon guy must not be into baseball.
the afternoon guy's tired and wants to go to bed. The morning guy's ready to go.
Yeah.
Mm.
Eric Lyons, yes, we will be there every Friday home game. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Starting,
Pretty much
starting April 18th.
Yep.
Yep. And we've got tickets available at the store.
And
so,
you have some GA tickets too, right, Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have other ones. If someone can't come on Friday, we have tickets for you there. And if they can't make, if you run out of those, we can get you more. But that's if you can't make a Friday, we do have tickets for other days.
Yep. It's a good night out, and it's fun. It's fun. So not just Friday nights, but all the home games, because it's the Phillies AA team, right? It's the future Phillies. This is where a lot of the big names, before they went up, played in Reading, like you talked about, Mike Schmidt. You know what I mean?
We've had more guys. We did the math. We've had more guys that have come through our team. Obviously, we have the longest affiliation, so it makes it a little bit easier. But we have more guys that have gone from Reading to the majors than any other team in the country, and more players that have played as a stadium that have gone to the Hall of Fame at a minor league stadium than any other stadium. Because not only do we have all the guys with the Phillies that are in the Hall of Fame, but that third base side, we just continue to keep putting up banners. So they just added the other day, Dave Parker and all those other guys, and that just keeps adding. The Derek Jeters of the world. I mean, there's a lot of history there.
Oh yeah, you got
very cool.
That's the best part about it too with Reading, because it's you get to see all the future of baseball, both sides, and it's great for families, and it's good. It's good the way to get your kids involved, with the sport at an affordable price for it, instead of taking.
And there's a lot of. I'm not out there as much as these guys are, but I know on the Friday nights that I am there, or another special night, there's families, there's you still do stuff with baseball teams, where it's baseball night, and so it's just a cool piece of history, you know what I mean? And what are you, an hour and change, from Philadelphia?
Yeah, it depends where you're coming. I mean, if you're coming from the other side of Philadelphia, it's probably an hour and 15, but I think most people can make it there in an hour, maybe even 45 minutes without traffic, depending on where you're coming from. But we do great because we draw from. The nice part about it is, and then we'll get off this subject, but the nice part about it is people think of, just Reddit. We draw because of the affiliation. Our fans go to Philadelphia and their fans come here.
Sure.
And also, when you get to Central PA, even so, some of those other teams are affiliated with the Nationals or other teams. A lot of those people, if you're not a Pirates fan in Central PA, you're a Phillies fan. So we get people that come probably from an hour in each direction, which is amazing because I don't think every team has that.
Yeah.
Matthew makes a comment about sleeping with the hot dog. I mean, don't sleep on the hot dogs.
The hot dogs are good. We were voted the #1 hot dog location in Berks County, and we'll enjoy them. I mean, the ones on the main.
Can you still go underneath to get the grilled ones?
Yep.
My favorite. My favorite.
I know people asked about the different menu items. I should have had that printed out for you, but you can find it on our Facebook. We had it the other day. There are some different.
Spicy chicken sandwich.
Spicy chicken sandwich. There's a personal piece out of the deck. There's some.
We talked about meatballs in the helmet last time, but we haven't confirmed if it's a mini or a full-size helmet yet.
No, but on our Facebook, I think there's a whole list of different items that we have for this year. And
this is information that we need to know. Is it a mini or a full size?
Yeah, we did the pregame. We talked about all this information. I sent you a cheat sheet, and come on, GM, come on.
Well, we can make whatever you want. Give me more money. I'll give you a big helmet. I don't know.
Don't sleep with the hot dog. All I know is don't sleep with the hot dogs.
Don't sleep with them. You don't sleep on them either, or with them.
Yep. With them, on them. Okay.
All right. It's nothing more satisfying than an impromptu, visit through Reading, baseball town. I know I'm partial, but here comes this lady. Will the corn on the cob ever come back?
No. We don't
Wow.
we don't.
Not even that wasn't even like a nice approach to that.
Well,
No, that was just straight out no.
Yeah, that was just a no.
Well, she's asked Travis, but the problem with the corn is
We're not asking Travis. We're asking
no.
you. You got stroke.
The problem with the corn is it's very difficult.
It can't be frozen is the problem.
We're
so it doesn't hold well.
We're good with things that can hold, and the corn, it's very hard to judge how much corn to get. You don't know who's going to get it. It's great. I'll eat it with Sue elsewhere, but not.
She would really just like for you to have one corn when she's there,
We could do that.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Will we find a sponsor for corn? We'll find a farmer who wants to sponsor it, and we'll figure it all out. We'll have a corn night.
It's not quick as we like to have speedy checkout with people.
I understand. Yep. How was, to bring up a new topic, how was the cashless situation?
It was almost
flawlessly?
It was almost a non-issue. Again,
Nice.
we're probably the last team in America that's not cashless.
Mhm.
We do live in an area of the country that sometimes is a little bit stubborn as far as change. But again, you want to tip a bartender, no one's going to stop you from tipping a bartender with cash. But in order to make the experience quicker for everyone,
Sure.
it's much easier. It's almost like Philadelphia now. You go to Philadelphia, you might not be able to, some stands you can pick up your food and go. If not, you walk to your right and you have a separate checkout person, so you're not backing up the line.
Yep.
You tap your card and you go. We're probably the last team in America that didn't have that, and now we do. And from the 3 games, I've heard of no issues, because the nice part of what they're doing is, especially for the early games, let's say you came with cash, you didn't hear the memo, you take that cash over to the customer service booth, they give you a gift card. Let's say you want to put $40 in there. You put $40 in there. Let's say you only spend $30. They will give you your $10 back. Other places would just take your $10 and say, "Hey, you got to use it next time."
$10 in cash, or they give you,
No, they give you your
$10 worth of tossables.
No, they give you your money back. They give you your money back, which I've never heard of any team in America doing. You
No,
put $40 you put $40 in a gift card, it's $40.
Right.
You use 30
Nice.
to get your $10 back. So that's very nice. They don't have
Good
to do
stuff.
that, but
Good
I think they're
stuff.
going to do that to get everyone accustomed to it. But after first day jitters, which had nothing to do with the fans, that had just us doing it for the first time, the Saturday and Sunday, I literally didn't hear of an issue. So I think it's going to be a nothing going forward.
Yep. Very cool. Very, very cool. Good to get a Reading our Phil's baseball town update. You won't get it anywhere else. But
No, and if you want to go, if you're looking for something to do this week before the games, I just left work. There's a gigantic carnival in the lot that you would park at, like that the Carpenter Technology lot. There's a gigantic carnival from today through Sunday. So
nice.
if anyone wants to go to a carnival, they're at the stadium right now.
There you go.
Nice. The old are they cashless?
I don't know. They seem like they might be straight cash. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll take any form of currency,
Yeah,
actually.
they'll take it.
All right. Cruising right through the show. And again, we had planned on having Chubby Dudley with us tonight. A lot of people know him as Bay Ragney, but he got called to duty, and he's working, and he'll make it up to us another date. But he wanted to talk about some wrestling, huge wrestling event that's coming up May 3rd in Philly at the old arena, the old ECW arena. So I was really looking forward to picking his brain. We got WrestleMania coming up. We were down there last year. It's out in Vegas this year, so I'm sure the lights are brighter and the glitter will be flying. So it's in Vegas this year. but Bay's working with the old group that were part of ECW back in the day, and I know they're all looking forward to that. And I believe it's, if I have the date correct, it's May 3rd.
Now, are you still planning? I know we had talked about. I think I have I never know my schedule at times, so I have a game, and you probably got the store open. But was that the one we had talked about going to for?
Yes.
When Medusa was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once the schedule came out, it kind of poo-pooed that for me.
Yeah. And the Eagles won the Super Bowl. So it's kind of taken up, a lot of weekends, a lot of Saturdays, which I'm not complaining about one bit. If I can get there, I'm going to be there, just to check it all out. Just another cool event in Philly at the they now call it the 2300 Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you guys can, and if you're wrestling fans, Chubby Dudley, does a show just about every day. So follow him, check it out for all the updates. Get all the information and we'll I'm sure we'll be talking to Bay between now and then. So we're going to try to fit them in. It won't be next week because we're at Buffalo Wild Wings next Wednesday with newly anointed Phillies Wall of Famer Ed Wade. So we're really looking forward to having some conversation with Ed. How he found out and what's it going to be like going in with Jimmy Rollins. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yes, it's
Johnny, do you want to do totally your call? Do you want to do your rant first, second, or third?
I'll do it last.
Okay,
I'm ready though, but we could
All right, well, here's the lineup. We can talk Phillies, and then we'll do Lauren's layup, and then we'll do John's rant on the close. How's that?
Well, maybe I'll do my rant first then.
There we go.
Jesus Jones.
Well, only because if we start talking to Phillies, that'll take some of my rant away.
That's for the best.
All right. Well,
all right.
Fire away, Johnny's rant.
When you said 1 and 3, I thought it was Lauren's layups and then your question. Then your
no, that was one and done. That's not.
Oh, that was just a one and done part.
Yeah,
okay.
That's not a weekly. So you can put that graphic to sleep.
Man,
I had a good one too.
See that? See that?
But all right, so we'll do my rant. All right. When is this experiment going to be over with Rojas? Rojas has got to go. Johan's got to go. Bye-bye. Last night cost us the game with just letting the ball drop on the ground. He's saying that he thought Sosa was calling for it when Sosa was saying, you take it. He takes his eyes off the ball. I mean, and then he's not even looking at it. And the ball, it would have been the best thing would have been if it hit him right in the head. Because it landed literally a foot away from him. The best. I mean, he lined it all up perfectly. He was standing there looking at his shoes, and the ball almost hit him in the shoes. The guy can't hit. And he's supposed to be there to play defense. And if he's not playing defense, he's making Odubel Herrera look like a Hall of Famer because at least Odubel could hit. He's got to go because he's killing us out there. And it's bad enough because center field's a hole that we got, like we've been talking about, which we'll get into later on. But we need an upgrade because that's a major flaw on this team right at the moment.
Can I ask you a question? I know I'm not supposed to cut you off because I get yelled at every time, but
every time.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
When you say he's got to go, like off the team or not in center field or
like
what?
Like send him back. He did good in the Dominican in winter ball. Let him go back to play winter ball.
So
he's a winner. He's not even a 4A guy. He's a winter ball MVP.
So what would you do? What would you do if you did that?
Well, I mean, John's going to have to open up the book and let Dombrowski, find us a center fielder that can hit.
1 weekend.
Well, yeah. I mean, we need it because I mean we don't have a right-handed bat. Johan was supposed to be our right-handed bat in the outfield. We don't have one. Hello?
I'm not waving high. I'm
I
not
know.
waving by. I got a question, but I
Yes.
don't want to get hollered at.
Okay.
I mean, how many starts has he had in center field, John?
It doesn't matter.
No. I'm not his. I'm not the
It doesn't
attorney
matter.
here. I'm just asking. I don't think he's had 2 or 3 starts in center field.
That's too many.
I get it. I understand.
And
totally-
we'll get into the other part because Marsh, who was my disappointing player of the year, is showing that he's being disappointed.
Here lies the question. Anthony said 10 games in. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And we're calling for his head. And it's just not these 10 games. We've been calling for it.
Right. Oh yeah.
They sent him to winter ball to get himself figured out, straightened out. And I watched him very closely last night.
Yeah.
He don't look any better at the plate than he did last year.
No, not at all.
So I don't know if he's overwhelmed, with major league pitching. You know what I
in
mean?
winter ball, it's me and you pitching to him.
Well, I got a pretty good fastball. I can bring it at about 82. So
Well, there you go.
I'd love to see that.
I got Jamie Moyer material. So
There you go. That's okay. But I mean,
I'm
Yeah,
going to see you at Funland
This Friday.
next Friday,
Funland. We'll see how
and I'll
fast.
see how fast that ball goes.
I can get it up to 19. Can you beat that?
19. Get out of here. But
You're going to throw your arm out, Dad.
no, never.
but no, I mean it's a problem. So either A, you're gonna have to go get somebody, or you're just gonna have to bite the bullet and bring Justin Crawford up.
Well, that's the bullet that you have, in your chamber.
Right.
Because, between and I don't mean to implode on your rant.
No, it's okay.
But it goes from, Rojas to Marsh to a replacement.
Right. Oh yeah. No,
We've been through this all last season. I mean,
Yep.
we had Cal Stevenson playing center field.
Exactly.
I mean, we've been through this.
Yeah.
We've been through all this. And,
Yeah.
here we are right back into it. The bottom of the lineup sucks.
Right.
There's no potential pop there.
No.
Rojas brings you nothing. And if he can't catch the ball, now we're really in deep doo-doo.
Well,
Well,
don't we think we're getting a little on him just because it was a horrible play? I watched it multiple times. He's got to call. First of all, you've seen a ball fall between people. This fell right in front of his feet. So that's all him.
Yeah.
But do we think we're overreacting a little? Maybe he had a bad
Not at all.
movement. Because in spring training, I obviously didn't see as much as you did, Carl. But I feel like in spring training he was getting a bunch of base hits. He seemed okay the games I was at least. He seemed like he was trying a little bit better, like it was working.
Not
I don't
playing
know.
against.
How many of those hits were actually solid hits, other than dribblers that he beat out?
Poor Johan.
Yeah, but you just want to get on base. I mean, he's never going to be a power hitter. You want him to get on base.
You're not getting those dribblers in the pros because you're going to swing and miss because the pitchers are better. You're facing guys that aren't even going to pitch in half of those minor league games.
I guess the problem is, as Carl mentioned, there's not really unless you buy someone, there's not just a replacement that I see that can just go there, and that's a problem. I think.
Well, no, you do. You have the guy in Lehigh. Just bring up Justin Crawford. At least, I mean, Johan's supposed to be here for his defense.
Right,
So-
but I think the problem with Rojas, I at least feel he went from Reading and he went very quickly up to
Right.
Philadelphia. And
Oh, yeah,
sometimes that can hurt you. I don't want you ruining Crawford by doing the same thing. I've seen it with the Pirates. A lot of players, they went from straight from AA up, and they were overwhelmed. So
Well, Mike
I think he's got a
McCullough,
little bit of a pedigree though with his father.
Mike McCullough brings up an excellent point. The smug look on his face.
Yeah.
That's what pisses everybody off. You know what I
He
mean?
thinks he's Willie Mays out there.
He almost
That's
looked
the
like
problem.
he wanted to blame it on Sosa.
Right.
Exactly.
And Sosa's out there for the very first time.
doing his
So if
best.
anything, that's Rojas's job to take charge. Hey, I know you're new out here, and the ball nearly, like John said, clocked him in the head. So I think it's clear whose ball it was. And that's where Rojas has got to say, that's on me. I messed that up. That, you're new out here and this is your first game. And I ruined that for both of us. So that's on me. But he didn't. He almost looked at him like, why'd you let that ball drop?
I bet you people wouldn't be as mad if he had just literally, if that happened and he just literally looked at him and went like this, like it's my fault.
No,
and
he didn't, but Sosa did.
Well, and that's wrong because that's the opposite.
Right. And that's just another part of his immaturity. You know what I mean? And
I personally think we should give him just a little bit more time. Let's get through the month of April or May.
Well, I don't know how quickly he's going to be back in the lineup. Marsh is back out there tonight. Max
Kepler
was, I thought, was off to a decent start. I didn't know why. We had the experiment, and I guess what really annoys me even more is you try it on the road versus the Braves.
Right.
if you're gonna pull this, try it over the weekend, in Philly at home. You know what I mean? And give Sosa a shot at home where the fans are going to, acknowledge, the fact that it is game one, for him, put Marsh next to him. You got to steal coin a phrase from John. You got this bozo out there in center field. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's ever going to be any good. I really don't. I don't think
he was never good when he was good. I mean, seriously, what's he done? He's gotten batted 2 1/4. Maybe at a high point.
Yeah.
It's one thing if he's batting that way. He can bat low, but you got to be an elite outfielder. That's little league baseball right there. Because like Lauren said, it doesn't even matter who's playing out there. It's a center fielder's ball. Basically, until the left fielder or right fielder calls him off, because it's hit right to him, basically. So anything from right center field to left center field is all his.
I don't think the worst thing in the world, you send him down to Lehigh Valley for a little bit, let him get experience. He never really got to experience. I mean, he went up real quick. So send him to Lehigh Valley.
There's no place for him to play there because you got Justin Crawford playing overnight. By the way, he's off to a pretty good start in Lehigh Valley.
Exactly.
I think he's batting like 325. You know what I mean? And he's getting on base. We might not be having this conversation much past July. You know what I mean? Because if all of this continues, and by no means, are we bona fide baseball people. We're fans. We're fans who, we want to see our team win and win every night. Winnable last night.
I'm just saying that what you want to be careful of, like you mentioned, if you send him down, then you got to put Crawford. I think you don't want to rush him just like we did with some other guys. So I don't know what you do. Maybe but Rojas, I mean, the only way to get better is to play. So he's got to play some. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you saw some kind of future with him, but there is nothing with him. Like, it's not like he's a guy that has some power or something like that. Like, okay, yeah, just give him some time, and he's a slap hitter at best that doesn't even get on base. And when he gets on base, he's dumb as a bunch of rocks because he gets picked off. He doesn't even know he doesn't have any baseball IQ.
Yeah,
he has a little bit of talent. Yeah, sure. I mean, he's fast. He can catch, but he gets distracted out there, and it's like he gets like, oh yeah, it's no big deal. He's in the big leagues. And Castellanos tries to work with them as much as he can, but like the guy's got to do it himself. I mean, he was yelling at Sosa like Lauren said, coming out of the commercial break, like it was all his fault. Like don't be calling for it, or saying that it's mine because I can't hear. Well, he shouldn't even have to say anything because that was his ball. And if anything else, still keep your eyes on the ball and don't put your head down looking at the ground. Letting Sosa get it. Stay right there in case Sosa does drop it. That you can maybe catch it. Off a rebound.
John,
I mean, he has no IQ.
All kidding aside, put your Johan Rojas thinking cap on. What is his value? If you were the general manager and you were trying to put a trade together, you'd probably have to package him and something else, someone else to
At least-
try to trade him? I
At
mean,
least someone else.
does he have much value?
No, like Anthony said, you send him to minor leagues and let him dwindle away.
Yeah, you gotta let him try to work it out, because if not, you're gonna have to package him with 2 people, and it's
Is this
you're not-
is this Scott Kingery like all over again?
no,
No,
I don't think so, because Scott Kingery, what happened is they kind of ruined him by messing with him too much. This guy, I don't even think they messed with him. I think they just put him there. I think it's the opposite.
yeah,
I think
because it was like you said, Anthony, he rushed up from Double A because everybody was hurt and they needed a live body to go out there basically, and Rojas was at Redden was at least playing good defense, so everybody's like, okay, he's got the defense to go out there and play, and at least, hey, and again, if he's doing that, he could bat 100. It doesn't matter, like the batting part doesn't matter, but you got to at least be able to go out there and catch and do your job in the outfield, and he's not even doing that anymore.
He needs a solid month and a half, 2 months maybe in Lehigh Valley to see how that is. Play every day, learn some of those little fundamental things that you should know by now, and then hopefully come up and be productive. At that point, if he's not, you really can't do much. But right now, his trade value is almost nothing because.
Oh yeah, I mean to trade him, yeah, you're not doing anything for him, and but again, it's like he went to winter ball and he had a great winter ball. He's just not a major league player. Like it's just he's got to a certain point. Maybe AAA's maybe even a little bit too much for him. Like he was good at Double A and winter ball. Like he's just not a professional baseball player.
Well, there's a lot of guys like that are like, they call them like 4A players, or, we don't even know if he's a AAA player because he never got to play in AAA. We know he's good in AA.
Well, right.
Figure out a way for him to be in Lehigh Valley, figure it out, and let him play there for a month. And if he does great, then bring him back. And but you can't have him on the major league club if you have to learn fundamentals at this point. You shouldn't really be there if that's the case.
Yeah, well, I don't know when he gets back in the lineup.
Yeah, because you got a lot of righties pitching against him.
Yeah, so. I don't know, like the confidence level for Rob Thompson to get him back out there. Even he was supposed to be a defensive replacement,
right?
So what you really bring to the table, is a pinch runner, occasional pinch hitter. We've asked him to learn to slap hit and bunt and do all the little things, and here we are. We're still having the same asinine conversation.
Right. I mean, you're going to probably get it, like you said, Anthony. Once Weston Wilson's ready to go and be able to come up and play at the big league level, he'll probably be up here recovering. He's up in Lehigh recovering right now, doing a rehab. So he'll probably take Rojas' spot on the bench, and that'll be the right-handed bat. But again, it still hurts you because you don't have. That means Brandon Marsh has got to play all the time, and Brandon Marsh isn't doing well himself. He's not taking it by storm.
Well, that's the other problem that you have is no one's like crushing that. It's not like you're like, all right, get rid of Rojas because Marsh is going to kill it for you. Well, they're both kind of struggling a little bit,
and that's why, like I said, you might have to just bite the bullet and let Crawford, just bat him 8th, 9th, whatever, and just let him play defense out there and let him go and see what he's got. I mean, at every level he's progressed.
Can Kyle Schwarber play center field?
Right, that'd be nice. But no.
No.
But yeah, I mean, because you're gonna be stuck. It's tough because.
I assume we've rolled into the Phillies. We had a pretty good weekend. We took 2-1. Two out of 3 from the Dodgers. I'm assuming we rolled into the Phillies segment of like these guys said, it's only one game, but here we are. We're just out of our minds over Sosa makes a great play, robs the guy of a home run, you know what I mean? And then, we gotta look at, a bozo play by, the center fielder to just, ruin the whole night. Basically, that's what it come down to. Did you guys catch the expression on Zach Wheeler's face?
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was not a happy camper.
Yeah. Well, because if you've shown any effort, if you run into each other, it shows you're showing effort. If you stop right before you collide, you're showing up. When it falls right in front of your feet,
All he had to do was stick his glove out.
how can you complain about anyone but yourself? I don't know what he said afterwards. I would have owned up to it and said, I made a horrible play. It's never going to happen again. End of story. But I don't know that he did that. So it's
supposedly after the game, he did say, he's got to catch that ball, type of thing. So
thank you.
Yeah, but that's a duh. No kidding. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's one thing if it happened once and then he doesn't do it, but we've been doing this all year. Last year, it's been the same thing. It's like there's no difference. Like Carl said, he actually looks worse at the plate right at the moment, than last year. And that's pretty hard to do.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you guys, made of the games and how closely you follow it, but there were, some blunders, even in these wins where the bullpen gave up runs, the team had to come back from behind to win. It's great to have the record that we do, but we're no longer in first place. You now have the Mets, sitting at the top. And it just, here we are. I just, why do we have to be talking about the same thing every year?
Right. And like you said, we had the same talks last year, before the Phillies went to London. They were winning a bunch of games, on pace for like 110 wins, whatever it was. And we still had those issues where it was like, yeah, you could have lost this game, but we end up winning it you because of this or this issue is still there. The team's very good. It covers up some of the mistakes. But when you're playing another very good team, it gets exposed. And so it can only take you so far during the regular season. And
last night from the fifth inning on, they didn't have a hit.
Right.
They didn't have a hit against you get 5 runs off of Chris Sale, what I mean, whose ERA was less than 2. You put up 5, you know what I mean? Then you don't get a hit against the bullpen the rest of the game.
Exactly. Yeah, 2 walks after that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just because we get frustrated because it's the same thing, seeing it year after year, and it's the same team, and and this is just Rojas, right? I mean, you still got Max Kepler that's not like lighting the world completely on fire, and then you still got issues with Stott. Is he an everyday player against left-handed pitchers? Great defensively, but he is what he is, and Bohm's got his head up his ass again. It's just. He is what he is, and
he does.
He's playing good defense at least. Again, you got some guys that are playing good defense, but that bottom of the order has got to produce, and especially Bohm being in the middle of the order has got to protect Harper, for the long haul. And it's just
here's what I would say. I'd say give him one more month. The team in general, they're still doing well. Give them one more month. If those same issues persist, then that's a bigger question going forward. Can they change some of this stuff? Can they fix some of the ways that they have? If they don't in a month, I would say, then it's a little concerning toward playoff time, because we're going to, what they're going to do is roll in the playoffs again, and you're going to roll with those same issues. And in the playoffs, everyone's good. So you got this early part of the year to fix it before the wins matter as much. And if you don't fix it in a month, then we got some concerns coming around the June time.
All right. We'll have to listen to you, Mr. Pirates fan.
Well, listen, I got more issues than there could be, so I hate to always be sort of the one that kind of goes against the grain here, but if Johan Rojas is the worst of our concerns, I'll take him right now. I'll take it. No, he's
not the worst, but he is a problem though.
But there's the weakest links on every team. There's no team from top to bottom, 1 through 9, that has great batting and fielding, and there's no team in the league that has it all figured out. So why do we expect our team to have it all figured out?
Because we're Philadelphia.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. And you guys just feed into that. You guys are just part of that. I mean, they're off to a great start. Yeah, they've made mistakes and there's been some issues too, but they've won more than they've lost. So we're on the right track. And for the most part, they're doing okay. Yeah, that was a terrible play in the outfield last night, but hopefully it was just an outlier. It's not something that's going to keep continuing. And yeah, these have been issues, but for the most part, The guys who step up when you need them to.
Yeah,
And I don't understand this. We're 10 games into the season, and already we're not talking about how great Taiwan Walker pitched when everybody was down on him. We're not talking about how great Christopher Sanchez pitched. We're not talking about how great Kyle Schwarber's been. Instead, we're talking about Johan Rojas, who no one thinks is going to be good. It just boggles my mind how much we just go right to the negative every time.
Well, if I think you said the same comment every April 9th for the past 3 years.
Yeah. Relax.
just give it a month.
Chill out.
Give it one more month.
I mean, I get it. It's John Rance, so it's not going to be something positive. But it's just, I mean, if they do 9 things right, we bitch about the one thing they didn't.
Well, no, but this was the rant was only about Rojas. I mean, there's a lot more we can continue to go on with the bullpen and those other spots. So it's not just one thing.
Okay.
The rant was just about the one thing.
Right.
I just want you guys.
It was about the one player.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
you're
she's asked us to calm down. It's only been 10 games, but nobody said we had to listen to her.
That's fine.
The only one who has to listen is Anthony.
Listen, you're in a better place than most teams. You don't got logos coming off the wall and bricks in the dumpster and rough situations. You're in a really good spot compared to.
Well, they're moving the logo. They're readjusting things.
I know. I'm just saying the perceived notion of the organization is not tip-top quality right now.
It's okay. It's all good. All right. John's rant, a little bit of Phillies talk, enough Phillies talk because you were getting on Lauren's nerves. So I can only imagine what the layup is going to look like.
Me too.
The layup is actually very fun. It has nothing to do with sports. But what's everyone's favorite board game growing up? What was your favorite board game to either play as a kid with your family, or maybe on Friday nights that was like your tradition to get pizza and play a board game? But what's your favorite board game currently, or what you guys got?
Well, the day and age of electronics, even me going back to Nintendo, for me, there weren't very many board games.
Yes, there's a million board games.
Well,
come on.
Yeah,
well, I'll say Monopoly was not fun. It took too long.
Okay.
Just takes too damn long. I liked when I was little. There was a game called Chutes and Ladders, where you think you're doing well, and all of a sudden you go down that damn.
I never played that.
You go down that damn slide, and you're back at the beginning.
I never played that. I was a big Candyland fan.
It's similar like that, but no slide.
Same thing, yeah.
Clue is a really good one. I like that one. I like that one a lot.
I like things that included card game, cards.
Like Uno?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That was a big one. But I was, I don't know if I've ever talked about this. I was on the chess club in high school.
Wow.
I played
Can you
chess.
still play? Do you still know how to play? Okay.
I probably don't even know how to set it up.
Okay.
I also took Spanish in high school. So
Oui.
yeah,
That's French.
That's not Spanish, but okay. But I mean, I don't know that I was a big board game guy.
No,
You know what I mean? I don't know.
we used to play Scrabble a lot, like
We did.
with my mom.
We
a big
did.
Scrabble family,
Yes,
and bingo.
she loved Scrabble. She loved playing cards. She loved, those were really old people kind of games.
Okay.
I like those arcade games, like they're not board games, but like air hockey and what the heck's the
Pac-Man?
No, what's this? No, air hockey. When we go to the arcade and the
like the hockey one where you got to like move the guys around.
no, with the paddle.
Air hockey.
Yeah, and then the foosball with the soccer players and all that. That's fun.
Is that what that's called? Foosball?
I don't know. That's what I said.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
foosball for the soccer.
Yep.
What's it called when it's hockey?
That's dome hockey. The
Dome hockey.
Oh yeah, with the dome above it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do hockey. They
Or
do
bubble
soccer.
hockey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bubble hockey. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one. Board games.
Johnny, what do you got?
actual board games, I love Monopoly. I was a Monopoly guy. Love to be the banker. That or Clue. I do like Clue. Trying to figure out.
Clue's good. And if you haven't, there's like 2 shows on Netflix right now that are very Clue-like, where somebody dies and you have to figure out like
Really
how it happened. So it's like every episode they lead you down this path and they make you think it's one person and then it's not, and then it's the next episode and they think it's somebody else and then it's not, and it's not till like the last episode that they put all the pieces together.
Ooh,
I feel like it's like
It's pretty good.
yeah, it's a Netflix version of Clue. The first one that came out was called The Perfect Couple, and now the one that came out is called The Residents. So very similar situation where people, someone dies and then it takes the whole series to figure out who did it.
Yeah, we just watched The Residents. That was as corny as could be.
The Perfect Couple's the one on the beach. The Residents is the one we're watching now in the White House.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one.
Where does
I had to stick needles in my eyes to watch that one.
Oh my god!
I liked the thing, but it was just too corny.
Okay. Well, we're only on the 3rd episode. We haven't finished it yet, so you should watch The Perfect Couple. Then that one was good.
And it's hard to, because the what's her name, the girl that's doing the investigation.
I forget her name. She was in a couple other shows, but I forget her name.
Well, it's a little hard for me to because I've seen her in Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, she's a totally.
Every time it's hard to figure with her being Orange is the New Black and her being in that thing too. But it is a very good. I did like it, but it was too corny. Like the whole.
Okay.
But the other thing.
How about Quizzo? Where does Quizzo fall in line at?
Well, you have to pretty much go somewhere for that,
Right?
like trivia.
It's not a board game, but
I like it.
I feel like that only exists in Delaware County and Philadelphia. We get it once in a while in Reading, but it's not very often.
Trivia. It might be called trivia night, but I don't know if Quizzo is the specific word that's like local to this area.
Yeah.
But I mean, Chelsea tells me all the time about trivia nights that she does up here or used to do up here before she had a baby. But yeah, I like trivia. I just never am there when they're having it because it's normally on an off night. It's like a Monday through Thursday when it's not normally busy, and I don't normally frequent a bar at that time. But when I catch one, I like it. I just never know the answers to anything.
How about electronic football? Mike McCullough brings up electronic football. I had that as a kid.
I don't know what that is.
I don't think there was any strategy to electronic football. You line them up, and the board rumbles, and then whatever happens. I don't think there's any.
I don't know what this is.
The board is like electronic, right? And you have these little guys for each team you put on there.
Yeah.
Real?
Like little guys.
Like
it's a metal board.
Yeah.
And it
vibrates, and then the people just move as the play goes.
Based on the vibration.
You have somewhat of control of your team
because of where you put them.
Yeah, I mean by the play, but I mean you're not in charge of the
vibrations.
The vibrations, right. So.
Right. I've never even heard of it or seen it.
Yeah, I had that.
And the other game that was good that I like too is Phase 10. It's a card game, kind of like Uno.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 10, where you get dealt the cards and you have to each phase you have to do it or complete a task. So like you have to get like 2 sets of 2 for the first phase, and if you don't get it, then you got to do it over while the next person in the group that did do it complete their task is on to the next phase.
I don't think I ever played that either.
No.
Yeah,
I liked
Go Fish. That was a good card game.
I like Battleship. That was hard though. You had to like try to remember.
Headbands.
I don't know.
Headbands is right. Very fun. I don't know what that is either.
So you shake your.
Is that the
Headbands the one where
Ellen DeGeneres game?
Yeah, where you put it on your head and it tells you what it is, and then you shake it
and your partner has to figure out what it how to tell you what it is without saying the word.
Right.
I gotcha.
And then and then you could have said it like in a French accent, like the Geico commercial.
Okay, well Anthony's all set because we heard his French earlier. So
exactly.
All right. John's rant, Lauren's layup / board game.
Can I ask one last question before you end up here really quick? So I know Sixers season is pretty much over, but does anything matter at this point? What happens from here on out? Does it matter which pick they get at this point, or where is
It's
that?
got to be. It's got to be a top pick, man. God would. This town will go nuts if they somehow manage to get the first overall pick.
If they get the first overall pick, is there a direct person that everyone seems to want? I mean, I'm a little out of it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants Cooper Flag.
Yeah. The Eagles have Cooper DeJean if the Sixers want Cooper Flag out of Duke. So,
but when he comes here to Philadelphia, it'll be just like that last shot. He bricked it.
John, you got to stay positive. You got to stay positive.
You can't.
She's gonna boot us. She's gonna boot us off the show.
Oh, it's all right.
You can't stay positive.
Well, no, the Sixers. The thing that's going to happen here in Philadelphia, we'll end up with, the 8th pick in the draft, and then we have to give it to Oklahoma City.
All I know is if anyone has free Sixers tickets for Friday night, hit me up. I'm interested.
Who they play?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. We didn't go to a game this year, and the Friday's the last chance to go. But from when I talked to a buddy that goes
up
to
there like $3.
Well, my buddy said.
I don't want to sit all the way.
My buddy says buy the $3
it's right behind the bench.
No, it's not. I wish it was.
Well, he said buy the $3 ticket, and because they don't want it to look empty on TV, they'll let you walk down. But I don't know that that's totally the case. But I'd rather.
Who is this source?
The guy that has season tickets.
Okay, so he can be trusted.
But I don't want to buy Sixers tickets because why?
They do have them for $7 right now.
That's before fees.
Yeah, but so you buy the $3 tickets and then you go sit next to your buddy because there's nobody going to be next to him with the season tickets right down in the front row.
That's true.
And then you know somebody.
$90 for row 5, right behind the bench.
No, thank you.
See that? Yeah,
So
I don't know that. Maxie was shut down today, which big.
I thought he was shut down a month ago.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. He re-injured his finger again.
What?
I guess
eating ice cream?
No, he was picking his nose and it got stuck.
I'll tell you what, they better show some serious moves, some serious trades, some serious maneuvering this offseason. If they don't, I say you got to get rid of the management because those guys get away with everything. They're the ones in charge of everything, and no one ever criticizes them. Yeah. I don't understand.
Well, what can you do though? The problem is like we've been talking about. You got to get rid of Paul George and you got to get rid of Embiid, really. Before you can do anything. But like, what's that going to do? Because you're still hamstrung with having to get max contracts back in those guys, and what are you going to get from them? They're just in that vicious cycle where, because like we said, when you should have gotten rid of Embiid after the MVP year because it was going to go downhill from there. There's really not much you can do because you're just going to keep floating, and hoping that Ruth was going to let you up on the door, so you float and not drown.
I'm not sure. I don't ever remember seeing Curtis Spoonhour join the show, but welcome. He's a hockey guy, friend of a friend, Sparky. He probably tuned in for the Flyers conversation, which we had zero of. Speaking of cleaning house, there's another franchise that's in deep trouble. So,
do you really think the Flyers are in that big of a trouble?
Yes. You don't have a goalie. You don't have a legit number one goalie, and you don't have a legit number one center. So you're missing two very, very big pieces. So,
yeah.
Do they have a losing record?
Yes. Yeah. They showed signs. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but
They played the Islanders tonight.
yeah. Not a good year for those two Philly sports teams, but we got the Phillies. We're going to remain optimistic. We're going to stay positive at least till this game's over. And our Sixers, our Eagles are getting ready to make. They're on the board, right? draft pick number 32.
Yeah.
John, who you got? You got a hand? If they keep the 32nd pick, who are they taking?
The lineman, either offense or defense.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think they stay there because they're either going to move up and grab like an offensive player potentially, or maybe a safety if they like that. Either that or drop back because
there's a lot of good talent in the second and third rounds.
Well, that's the thing. Howie might drop back, and let somebody take that spot to gain a couple more second and third round picks.
Yep.
For that. So
okay.
There's a better chance of that. So in case you're trying to stay up on next or the 24th, that Thursday night to see the Eagles pick.
Yep.
You may get disappointed because Howie might pull there's a trade.
Yeah.
and we'll see you tomorrow morning or tomorrow night.
All right.
Well, that'd be interesting to see.
We're way past still.
Yeah, Curtis, I agree. They should get Warren.
Oh, I love that kid.
Warren.
Love that kid. I just don't think he's going to be around unless they really move up the board.
Yeah, I mean, how much do you think taking their 32nd pick and Dallas Goedert can move them up? If that's I don't know that it could do much, but I'm just saying
you're probably going to have to package it, the 1, the 2, the 3. You know what I mean? Because he's got to be what, 10, 12 pick.
Probably within the top 10, I would think. Yeah.
Yep. Lauren, we all good? We ready to sign off? You're happy. You were late, but that's okay. We give out mulligans on the show, so appreciate you guys joining us.
Yep.
We'll all be at Buffalo. Well, are the Fightins home next week?
Sure. Yep.
So we will not have our resident GM with us.
Correct.
But we'll have a retired GM in Ed Wade. So
got the GM replacement.
we'll pick his brain about where the Phillies are at, a week from tonight.
He doesn't like Rojas either. Just saying.
All right.
It was like 3 minutes. I stayed positive. I didn't say anything negative.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As we sign off, we can all wish Sue. Some know her as Sue. Some know her as Susan. Some know her as Mrs. H. Some know her as
Mom.
The ticket lady at the front door. Some know her as Mom. Some know her as Mother, and she got a lot of names. But she's celebrating a birthday tomorrow, and she's been doing a great job with putting her life back together and doing all the good things. And Lauren's coming down to spend a day with her mom on her birthday. So kudos to those two.
Yep.
And if you're in the area next Wednesday, come out to Buffalo Wild Wings. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have our version of trivia with Topps trading card prizes, some of the best raffle giveaways, and so
That's the profit much.
Speaking of raffles, go to Carl's Cards and you can win this Willie Mays jersey.
There you go.
That's right.
There you go.
We'll put it out and it helps out the CCC charities, and
Yep.
you'll be
Yep. All that money's going back to Humane Pennsylvania, right?
There
There
we
you
go.
go. There you go. The walk is when? May what?
May 3rd.
Wow. A lot of things going on May 3rd.
A lot. Busy day.
yeah.
Busy day. All right. It was a busy night. It was a great night. This Fan's View is signing off. And you can continue to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and all the social media outlets. So
There you go.
it's good stuff. Have a great night, everybody.
See ya.
Sounds good.
See you now.